Alright everybody, Sawyer189 here, and I'm here with a top 5 list again. This one is for top 5 Superman villains, my top 5 Superman villains. As with my Batman top 5 villains list, this is just my personal opinion. I do tend to leave out a lot of the more super iconic villains or characters in favor for ones I just think are more interesting or more underdog or underappreciated. So yeah, let's get into it. First up on the list at number 5 we have the Toyman, who's one of my favorite, especially costume design characters from the cartoon. I usually try to use comic book images for these pictures, but I just love this costume so much from the cartoon. It's such a great design. It's so creepy, especially as a kid in the 90s. It was super creepy, or 2000s. But anyway, Toyman is a great character because he's one of those. I love these characters that like don't have to match the hero physically. They can just beat them like with cunning or can make crazy gadgets. And Toyman has crazy gadgets. He's also one of those gimmicky villains that has a gimmick. I love that. I love those. I love gimmicky villains. They're fun. And Toyman is one of the funnest of them all because he literally uses toys to make death traps. I mean, little toy airplanes that fly and blow up, giant toy nutcrackers that attack you. And it's just really, and honestly, the opportunities are almost endless with the kind of themes and things you can play with this character. You can literally do all kinds of crazy, wacky stories with this guy, and it's just I love that about him. So speaking of wacky, we have the number 4, Mr. Nisserplex, which if I was him, I'd be back in the fifth dimension. I love this character. He's such a fun character. Um, so he's basically a god, and he literally just can do pretty much everything. He's literally the most powerful person on this list, and could just destroy Superman so easily. But where the fun would that would be? Like, where would the fun in that be? And he is literally just the epitome. He's the epitome of a little kid bored and needs a new toy to play with, and he likes messing with Superman. And Superman, the only way Superman ever beats this guy is by basically tricking him into saying his name backwards, which is like his number one rule that's set in his power set, which is so interesting. You can always do just like Toyman, you can do really crazy off the wall stories with Mr. Nisselplex, and it's so great. Plus, he's just a fun character, fun personality, and just silly costume. Look at the hat; it's way too small for his head. At number 3, we have Metallo. I like Metallo because he's basically a human criminal that gets hurt, and he blames it on Superman, like mortally wounded, where he has to be repaired as a robot. And his hatred for Superman is so ironic because he's fueled by, his heart is the thing that Superman can kill Superman. So it's really interesting villain kind of concept and design, that he has a kryptonite heart that powers him, and he's becoming less and less human as he moves on. Just a really fun villain, and one of those kind of villains that's overlooked in the Superman stories. Like, he doesn't get used nearly as much. Like, I really wish they would use him in a full-length Superman movie as the main villain. Like, I would love that. That would be cool to see. At number 2, we have Lex Luthor, pretty much Superman's most iconic villain of all time, and really a testament to the character of how he can stay at that title. Just because it's amazing to me that I love, just like I was saying earlier, I love villains that don't have to match the hero physically. Lex Luthor never has to do that. He has the money and resources and the intelligence to always be able to outplay Superman, and he's always like 2 or 3 steps ahead of him on the chessboard. It's really interesting. He kind of reminds me of Batman. He's kind of like a Batman without the martial artists and the actual fighting skills. And you gotta really admire a villain, an evil weasel like him that can weasel his way into the President of the United States. That was probably one of my favorite storylines involving Lex Luthor ever. That he was the president, and being the Boy Scout that Superman is, he pretty much had to listen to the president for the most part. So I always thought that was awesome. And then at number 1, we go from the president to the king of a whole entire world. Basically, tributed as a god, pretty much at the power level of a god. I mean, we have Darkseid here. Darkseid is just a really great Jack Kirby creation. His everything from his look that's incredibly menacing to his the way he talks, his voice in the cartoon, which is incredibly epic, to his Omega eyes or Omega beams, which is one of the coolest kind of powers. Especially the way they always move around and follow people. It's really interesting. He can take on Superman. This is one of those villains that can take on Superman physically and play games with him and be mental and send servants. He has a whole planet of soldiers ready to fight Superman, ready to protect him at all costs. And that's what makes him a really good villain, is that he has such loyal followers that they will follow him to the death. And that's something that's truly powerful. Well, guys, that's my top five villains of Superman. Please like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys later. Have a good one.